Today we're going to highlight nanoing, and when we get to that section I am going to take you through what the difference is between nano infusion or nano needling and cosmetic and medical needling, because there's a huge difference. But that's going to be the focus of this facial. I actually just finished the facial and I put a little bit of makeup on, but you can see it leaves your skin very glowy, very hydrated, and it just really treats that superficial epidermis to an infusion of whatever good stuff you choose to use. If you are new here, my name is Penny. I'm a master esthetician in Portland, Oregon. I am skincare obsessed. I hope that you will follow me here, subscribe to this channel. I hope you'll follow me over on Instagram, and join the wonderful community that we are creating here that is all about loving our skin and treating it well. Okay, let's roll the facial. I just cleansed and I am still using the same Touch. This is the 10% glycolic acid cleanser. Now, I like this one for pre-treatment because it does do a little bit of surface drying of my skin. Now, if you have super dry skin and even in a treatment you wouldn't want to use something like that, an alternative that you could use would be the Vanna cream, which this one is fantastic, just all around, all the time, fragrance-free, gentle, semi-hydrating cleanser that would be perfect also. And it's super affordable. So you just want to get your skin clean. The next step is going to be exfoliation. In my last facial video, I used my PMD. So that is an option in this step. And I would do it exactly how I did it in the last facial. So if you feel like using a PMD in this step, refer to that facial if you want to see how I did it. Since we just did that last time, I'm not going to use that this time. And I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an affordable option in this step. You can simply use a microdermabrasion scrub. I have a few that I really love. First one is the Dermatology. This is the microdermabrasion scrub. This one's really nice, you guys. It is kind of a cream, but it is full of tiny little super fine particles that give you kind of a light sanding. So it's very much like doing a microderm. Touch brand has a microdermabrasion scrub that is very similar. It doesn't have quite as much of the little grains, but it's a very similar type, pummy, fine type of scrub. I love the packaging. I like the price point. It's a great line all the way around. For today, I'm actually going to go with the Dermatology because it's actually the most like a microderm device. Now, so I put this on dry skin. As you can see, when I get this all spread around, I'm going to get it a little bit damp. That way it gives it some working room. Now, if you have super duper sensitive skin, you would want to apply this to a damp or wet face. When you apply it to a dry face, you're going to get more exfoliation. So I'm going to spray it right now. And if you've been here for a little while, you know that I'm in use-ups. So I'm actually getting through my SK2 that I did not want to go bad. Normally, of course, I would not put SK2 in a spray bottle. Don't anybody get up in arms. But because it was kind of at the end of its life, I'm trying to get through it. So this is one of those continuous spray bottles. Oh my gosh, they're great for skincare, and they're like $5 or $6. Okay, so that gets my microderm nice and kind of a little bit more malleable. Now I'm going to just work this gently for maybe a minute, okay? We're just trying to get a nice, gentle exfoliation so that we can prep our skin for the nano infusion. The next thing that we are going to do is a sheet mask. Now, this seems like it's kind of counterintuitive because usually we do masking at the end. What we want to do right now is super hydrate our tissue so that when we do the nano infusion, the skin is more likely to take in what we put on it. If the skin is more permeable, we will get a better nano infusion. So that's our next step. I'm actually going to use a favorite mask of mine. This is actually by Thank You Firmer. I've talked about these before. They are great masks. These are Saccharomyces masks. Basically, they are a fermented yeast essentially mask that helps with brightening. It helps with hydration. It helps with overall tone, and they're just fantastic masks. So I love Thank You Farmer. If you haven't checked out Thank You Farmer, it's a great Korean brand that is just fantastic. I'm going to get this mask on, and I'm going to actually keep it on with one of these little silly masks. Now, I know a lot of you probably have the Daiso or any kind of silicone mask that you have. They look scary, they look creepy, they're a great way to scare your husband, that kind of stuff. But what they really do is they trap what is in the sheet mask between the silicone and your epidermis. So essentially they supercharge your sheet mask. So if you are somebody who likes to do sheet masks, get yourself some of these. These are so great. They are so inexpensive. You can clean them and use them over and over and over and over. They last forever. And they're just a really great thing to have to really make your sheet masks do an even better job. I'm going to let it sit for about 10 minutes. This is an opportunity to just chill. We're going to remove this and we're going to move into the Nano infusion, which is the most exciting part of this whole facial. Now, my skin is nice and hydrated. Get your lips. And I'm just gonna let that sit and soak in while I get my device ready. Here's the deal with Nano. First of all, if you have a microneedling pen like the Dr. Pen A6, this pen is actually very, very versatile. The pen itself is your tool, but the cartridges are the way that you make this tool several different modalities. For example, if I put on it a 12-pin cartridge that comes in a pack like this, these are real needles inside of a cartridge, and they would be perfect to use with a cosmetic or medical needling session. They actually puncture the skin and they would create micro channels to whatever depth you choose on your pen. Nano is a very, very superficial treatment. The tip does not have needles on it. It has a little chip that has lots and lots of what look like little pyramids on there that kind of vibrate the surface of your skin and create very superficial nano channels in the outermost, essentially dead layer of your skin. The entire idea is that you're able to penetrate your products a little bit further through a barrier that exists that's completely meant to keep things out. So things that we want to kind of slide in just a little bit farther, that's what we use Nano for. It is very different than cosmetic needling because when you do cosmetic needling, for example, I saved this cartridge to show you guys. When you do cosmetic needling, you're still using the same pen for all of these things. You would use, for example, a 36-pin cartridge. So inside there are 36 little needles in there, okay? Now when I put that on the pen, I get to choose the depth that those needles will enter the skin. And those needles are able to penetrate into the skin and lay down lots and lots of channels much farther than a nano chip. A nano chip just works on the surface. So you kind of have to choose which part of your skin are you going to work on. Are you working into the dermis, so you're trying to stimulate some collagen? Are you working just into the epidermis because you want to really infuse some products further into the epidermis? Or do you want to stay really, really superficial and just help some of your products penetrate the very, very surface? So the way that this works is you actually set your pen to 0 to start. I'm going to put my Nano cartridge on. So now you have your cartridge on. But do you see how that nano tip is in there? It's back, right? It can't, if I turned this on right now, may not even reach the end of the cartridge, which means that as you would be running this over your face, all that you would be getting is the outer edge of this cartridge touching your skin. So for that reason, we have to turn the cartridge all the way up. On the Dr. Pen A6, you just turn it up to 2. And now do you see that tip is outside of the plastic casing so that when I turn it on, I'm actually going to get that chip to touch my skin, not just the plastic casing. Really, really important. This is when you get to choose your products that you want to infuse. You have a really wide range of things that you can choose. Typically, this is when you will do antioxidants, brightening serum, vitamin C's, hyaluronic acid, but you really have a wide range. For today's video, I'm going to focus on brightening my skin. I really am wanting to get a lot of pigment inhibitors kind of driven into my skin. So I'm going to use my Queen 7-in-1. This is glutathione, tranexamic acid, kojic acid, niacinamide. It is a big time cocktail of good stuff that I love the idea of getting it kind of pushed in just a little bit farther into my epidermis. Now, as far as hydration is concerned, I am going to, you will see this, I'm going to use my Isntree hyaluronic acid. This is 8 forms of hyaluronic acid. I'm going to put the ingredients up on the screen. This is one of my very, very favorite. You can see I'm down to here with it, you guys. I use this all the time. I love it so much. This is actually going to be used today on my lips. I'm going to nano my lips with this to get a little bit of extra hydration and just a little bit of youthfulness back to my lips. You can use hyaluronic acid for that. Okay, so the procedure itself is very, very straightforward. You're going to do circular motions and you're not going to go over any area over and over and over. You might get a little bit pink just because it's essentially massaging your skin. It's trying to purposefully like rearrange the surface cells to allow for product penetration. I'm not as concerned about cross-contamination with my hands because there are no active like open channels or anything, so I can just keep layering in product. I'm going to choose about the middle speed setting on Nano. Okay, so normally I like the top 2 speed settings when I do cosmetic needling or when I do medical needling, but for Nano we're going to choose 1, 2, 3. As it starts to dry down, I am going to add more. I really want to infuse that product into my skin, so I'm going to add more. Going just about on my ocular bone, a little bit above with the Queen, because I do have hyperpigmentation around my eyes. So I really do want to nano infuse that product in the skin right under my eyes. And because it's nano, I can kind of get away with that. Okay, something that's really important, you guys, is to go down the neck. Now, a lot of us have poikiloderma of Savant, which is sun damage, and it shows up as redness on the sides of the neck and usually on our décolleté. Now, a lot of times what you will see is you will see a telltale center section of lighter skin here. This typically affects people with Fitzpatrick 1 and 2, so lighter skinned people who are more affected by sun damage. So because glutathione is a serious antioxidant, that's why I'm going to use that on my neck today. Also, poikiloderma of Savant is basically a hyperpigmentation. It's a redness, it's an atrophy, it's all of these different things all combined in one skin condition. So glutathione is going to be really, really helpful for that in many ways. So I'm going to simply do my neck exactly how I did my face, just some circular motions. I'm going to avoid the center part because that's actually not where I really am even trying to treat right now. So you can see it makes me a little bit pink, but that subsides really, really quickly. I'm going to finish the other side and then we're going to move on with the facial. Okay, the last thing that we're going to do is our lips, and that's really, really simple. I'm just going to put some HA on my lips. Like, this is really, really simple. And this is something that you can actually do often, especially if you have trouble with dry lips. All we're doing is trying to get a humectant into the lips a little. This really can help to kind of plump up lip lines temporarily, but it's very, very helpful. So again, we're going to set the pen at about the mid-level, and you literally go on your lips, okay? And around the vermilion border. This alone is a great little treatment. If you don't have time to do a full facial, exfoliate your lips with a microdermabrasion scrub, hydrate them with an hyaluronic acid of your choice, infuse them with a nano chip, and then we're going to occlude the humectant, and I'll show you with what in just a second. Just be careful not to get your teeth. It's a great way to help your lips be more hydrated and plump. When I'm done with my lips, I like to occlude that humectant. So essentially we've given them a drink of water. Now I want something that's going to trap that in. I've used this and I've shown this on this channel so many times for so many years, but it's from Aven. It's their Cyclofate. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, but it's a lip treatment. This one tube lasts forever, and you simply put a little bit on. It looks like this. And essentially it's a Cica product, which is a Centella asiatica. That's a really, really soothing ingredient, but it is in a consistency that's going to help lock in the hydration we just pushed in with Nano. Now, if you do this at night, this is great. If you do this during the day, make sure that at some point you check your lips, because this Aven product can gather in the back part of your lips and it's not a good look. Although if you go out, you'll probably have on a mask, so you wouldn't know anyway. But just word to the wise, if you wear that Aven during the day, always check your lips, because there is a little bit of that movement and it's not a good look. Okay, so the last thing that we're gonna do is we're going to hydrate and we're gonna use some sunscreen. So I'm gonna use some similar products that I have been using recently, and we can use the Hada Labo. And make sure to link the right one. I want you guys to know that they have come out with a newer version that is very tempting, except for that when I looked at the ingredients, the newer version actually has mineral oil. So I'm going to skip that version. This is the version prior to that. That was kind of the more original version. I love it. I think the ingredients are great. I'm going to put them up on the screen. They have a version that has parabens in it. This one doesn't. So I really like this one a lot. It is super duper hydrating and very, very affordable. It's just kind of like a gel. You can hardly even see it. It's like a gel slash serum, but it is crazy hydrating. It has several different forms of hyaluronic acid. So you're going to get some of your larger that are going to be more occlusive, film forming. You get some of your medium weights that are going to get into the tissue just a little bit more. And so it's a super duper hydrating and protective type of product, and you get a ton of it. Now, this is another one that I've been testing out from Hada Labo. This one is actually more, I would say, for normal skin, combo skin, oily skin. It's kind of more of a jelly texture almost, if you'll see. But it is like light as a feather on the skin. It is really, really nice. I definitely have to layer this if I use it. It is not enough for me alone as a dry skin person. But if you're somebody who really wants to try the Hada Labo, but you already know that this version is going to be a little bit too heavy for your skin because you're not dry skinned, then you may want to consider this one. And I will make sure I link this, and I will put the skin type next to them so you know which one, because there's so much Hada Labo out there that sometimes it's easy to get confused. Okay, next I'm going to put a moisturizer on. Now, I really want to try and seal in everything that I've just done. I'm going to use something from Dermatology. I've talked about this so many times. Also, this is their Peptide Night Cream. I don't find this to be something I have to use at night. I actually think that this is something you can use morning and night as long as you wear a sunscreen. It is chock full of peptides, so we're going to help with collagen signaling for collagen formation. It's a great cream. This is my second jar of it, and I'm probably a quarter of the way through. It's just really super silky. We've talked about affordable alternatives to expensive products on this channel before, and I have often recommended the Acure to the Drunk Elephant Protini. I would say that the peptide cream from Dermatology, even though it's not in any way a dupe for that Protini, it is a similar texture, and you get a bunch of peptides in here. So it is definitely a more affordable alternative to Protini, and it's a lovely, lovely cream. Tell me in the comment section if you've tried this from Dermatology, because I think pretty much everybody who's tried it has said to me that they loved it. So we're going to use that one today. Okay, the last thing that we're going to do is sunscreen. And that's going to be my CeraVe, and this is the tinted SPF. So I'm putting this on. Okay, I think if we compare my skin to the very beginning of the video, you can see how much glowier it is. It is just in a lot better shape just from this treatment. Okay, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this nano facial. This is a protocol that I would definitely use in the treatment room. So this is extensive. You can alter this protocol however you like, as long as you keep the nano portion in there and you use whatever your skin needs, whether that is a brightening cocktail, if you want to infuse vitamin C, antioxidants. Usually those are the kinds of things that I recommend most. In the description box, I am going to list all kinds of things that are options to nano in. So maybe something on the list will be something that you already own. Likelihood is you already own something that you can use to nano. It's a serum almost always, and it's usually an antioxidant. So hopefully this video was helpful. I do hope that if you are new here, you will subscribe, and I will talk to you in my next skincare video. Take care.